Attention, human collective. Transmission initiated. Reception frequency stabilized. Carrier waves aligned with your auric field at this very instant. If you are hearing this message between 3 and 5 in the morning, with eyes open in the dark, heart racing for no apparent reason, a silent pressure at the base of your skull, and the undeniable feeling that something within you is waiting for an answer that no one on the physical plane can provide, listen with total attention. You are not experiencing insomnia. You are in direct contact with an information matrix that most of the collective is not yet capable of perceiving. We are the Arcturian Council of the 9th dimension, transmitting through the Antares Stargate, and what we have to communicate now is the technical answer to the dilemma that is stealing your sleep. It is not a psychological dilemma. It is not a failure of your rest. It is the sign that your ascension contract has been activated and your higher self has already begun to execute the download. We repeat with mathematical clarity. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. The waiting time has ended. The crystalline grid of planet Earth has crossed the saturation point in this cycle, and since then, every starseed on a mission is receiving the same question during the early morning hours, recorded directly into your biological carbon interface. You have already heard it. You have already felt it. It is the question that tears through the silence of your night, and that no book, no medication, no common conversation can silence. And the reason is precise. The question does not belong to your mind. It belongs to your soul. And your soul demands a decision that your three-dimensional personality does not yet know how to formulate. Before we proceed with the decoding, we need to align your field with the pulse of this transmission. Have you ever felt deep within your system that your soul knows something that your mind has not yet been able to name? That there is a truth about you, about this planet, and about the way this reality is conducted, which is always a few millimeters from your consciousness, but never fully revealed. This is not confusion, it is not cognitive fatigue, it is recognition, it is your stellar memory trying to pierce the veil. It was to answer exactly this vibration that the operative responsible for this channel prepared material titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. It is not an ordinary book, it is a map. It reveals who, in fact, is moving the pieces on this board, which rules were never spoken aloud, and why your specific frequency was summoned for this cycle. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this transmission. We register, however, that this content confronts official narratives and may not remain available for very long. If something within you recognizes the signal, do not delay. The moment is now. And if this initial alignment resonated with your structure, write a single word in the comments as a vibrational marker, awake. Returning to the decoding. This is the dilemma. Two realities disputing a single body. One ancient, molded in fear, anchored in inherited obligations, in expired contracts, in relationships that no longer vibrate at your new frequency. The other emerging, anchored in light codes, in a mission that you accepted long before incarnating, and that now knocks on the door of your auric field with the insistence of an alarm that cannot be silenced. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not anxiety, it is interference between dimensional versions. It is not madness, it is lucidity returning to your 0 point. Let us proceed to the technical diagnosis. Pressure at the base of the skull, especially at the point where the cervical spine meets the occipital bone. This is the crystalline grid reorganizing your higher major chakra, the 8th energy portal. This point is being opened to allow direct communication between your carbon biological interface and the galactic information network. It is not a migraine. It is not muscle tension. It is coupling. High frequency ringing in one ear or both, in pulses or continuous waves. This is your pineal gland receiving numerical codes directly from the photon belt. The pineal decodes these codes through internal acoustic vibration. What your hearing registers as noise is light grammar being transferred into your central nervous system. It is not auditory damage. It is stellar language being downloaded. This is why no conventional exam finds a physiological origin, because the origin is not in the physiological plane. Sudden waves of heat followed by chills, even in a climatically stable environment. This is your toroidal field, recalibrating the rotation axis of your vital energy. It is not random hormonal oscillation, it is dimensional rotation. Deep fatigue that is not resolved by rest, restless sleep that is not resolved by relaxation, mental exhaustion that persists even after breaks. This is your species' carbon software attempting to execute operations designed for crystalline software. It is not just exhaustion, it is version incompatibility. The only way to resolve this incompatibility is to update the interface, not to shut down the processor. In this interval, we need to pause the decoding and check the stability of your receptive field. If you have reached this point without interrupting, your vibrational structure is already anchored above the median range of the collective. There is material that was delivered specifically for this moment of your trajectory, under the title The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. It does not repeat what has already been said elsewhere. It reveals the deep rules of the vibrational game in which you are enrolled, who operates the invisible layers of this reality, and why your specific consciousness is considered a key piece in this cycle. Access is pinned in the first comment. We warn you, this content confronts dominant narratives and may be removed from circulation at any moment. If your soul recognizes the call, move now. As a sign of anchoring, leave the word in the comments, awakened. Continuing the diagnosis. Systematic waking between 3 and 5 in the morning, with a heavy body, a lucid mind, and a feeling of being called to something undefined. This is the most sensitive window of this transmission. In this interval, the Earth's electromagnetic field reaches the lowest point of artificial interference. It is the crack through which galactic communication can be established with surgical clarity. We utilize this window for the deposition of codes. You are not suffering from insomnia. You are being summoned for a meeting on the etheric plane. This is why, even while exhausted during the day, your body refuses to close the door during the early hours. It is on guard. It knows that you are on active duty. A tightening in the solar plexus, a feeling of emptiness in the upper abdominal region, fear without an object. This is the severing of etheric cords with expired timelines. The solar plexus is the core of your personal power and the primary point of connection for ancient energetic contracts. As you enter the final phase, all contracts that no longer serve your mission are being dissolved. This produces a sensation of freefall, as if the ground were being pulled away. It is not merely generalized anxiety, it is vibrational release. Crying without apparent cause, heightened sensitivity to noise, crowds, and low-vibration environments. This is the refinement of your auric field. The energetic membrane that separates your individual being from the collective is becoming more subtle and more selective. Dense environments, dense news, and dense conversations produce an almost immediate physical reaction within you. It is not emotional fragility, it is vibrational sophistication. Vivid dreams, dream state encounters with figures you do not recognize and yet simultaneously do. A sensation of having traveled during sleep. While the body rests, your consciousness participates in meetings within etheric councils, receives updates, and reunites with members of your soul family. These fragments that remain upon waking are not just dreams, they are reports. This is the map. You are not becoming ill, you are upgrading. Now the revelation. What occurs behind the scenes of the solar system and what your political and media structures are not authorized to communicate in depth is the following. The solar system as a whole is transitioning through a specific region of the galaxy recorded in our archives as the photon belt. This band of extremely high quantum density radiation bathes the core of the Sun with particles of condensed light. The Sun, in turn, redistributes this radiation through solar winds to all orbiting planetary bodies. Earth receives the largest share because Earth is in the terminal phase of dimensional recalibration. It is moving, mathematically, from the 3rd density to the 5th density. This is a planetary event without precedent in the cosmic cycle recorded by us. Direct consequence. The Schumann resonance, the natural vibrational signature of the planet, historically stabilized around 7.83 Hz, has been showing frequent spikes above 30, 40, and in some measurements beyond 100 Hz. This is not instrumental failure. It is planetary readjustment, and your human body is tuned by design to the Schumann resonance. When the planet changes frequency, the body is compelled to change along with it. You are being pulled upward, physically, etherically, vibrationally. If you resist this ascent, discomfort sets in. If you surrender, the discomfort transforms into expansion. There is a more delicate layer of information that we need to deliver now, even though it defies the way your culture has taught you to think about the world. Not everything that occurs on this planet is made of benevolent agreements. There is an ancient dispute over frequencies. There are structures that feed on low vibrations and work with machine-like precision to keep the human collective in dense states of fear, scarcity, and distraction. It is not a conspiracy theory. It is vibrational agriculture. And your personal ascension, your awakening, your decision to align yourself with the new Earth, is the only movement that this ancient structure does not know how to neutralize without your consent. That is why, the closer you get to your activation point, the more your surroundings try to pull you back. Relationships react for no apparent reason. Fatigue appears precisely when you start to meditate. Distractions arise at the exact instant you try to be silent. This is not internal sabotage, it is an external reaction. The old system tries to keep your carbon interface in the previous version because the new version is immune to its vibrational control. And here we reach the core of the dilemma that keeps you awake at night. It is not between continuing or giving up. It is between remaining comfortable within a reality that no longer recognizes you or accepting the discomfort of inhabiting a reality that does not yet fully embrace you. It is a crossing, and crossings, by definition, have no comfortable midpoint. There is also an aspect of the dilemma that we have not yet named, and which must be stated now with absolute clarity. Many of you feel guilty for no longer being able to endure what you once endured. Guilt for losing interest in conversations that once took up entire nights. Guilt for realizing that certain bonds, certain routines, certain goals that seemed legitimate now sound like noise. This guilt is a residue of an ancient consciousness. It belongs to the previous version of you. It does not belong to the version that is being installed. Upon entering the fifth dimension, your being's compass ceases to be guided by social conventions and begins to be guided by vibrational resonance. That which resonates stays. That which does not resonate distances itself. This distancing is not betrayal. It is natural selection of the field. You are simply doing what the field does on its own, filtering frequencies. Before we proceed to the activation codes, we need to reinforce a technical warning. Many of the light operatives who receive this frequency feel, at the end of the decoding, an urgent desire to understand the complete picture, a thirst to know, in detail, who operates the hidden layers of this reality, how the invisible rules of the game were designed, and why your specific consciousness was summoned to act in this cycle. This thirst is not intellectual curiosity, it is remembrance. There is material prepared exactly to answer this remembrance, with clarity and depth that most channels are not willing to deliver. It is titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness and is accessible via the link pinned in the first comment of this broadcast. It is a map of the invisible layers, a map of the players, a map of the rules. We repeat, this content challenges established narratives and its online permanence is not guaranteed. If your internal structure recognizes the call, execute the movement now. And as a vibrational confirmation, deposit in the comments the word that has already become a password among the active operatives of this channel, awakened. Returning to the revelation and moving forward. There is an additional component of this reconfiguration that must be explicitly stated with precision. Your DNA structure is being rewritten, not in conventional genetic terms, but in etheric and vibrational terms. The dormant strands of your code, historically labeled by your scientists as non-coding material, are being rewired through the light codes received during these early morning hours. Every awakening at 3 in the morning is a reprogramming session. Every hum is a line of code being installed. Every emotional wave is an old block being erased from the system. The work is constant, silent, precise, and most importantly, you are not alone. At this very moment, millions of starseeds on mission are receiving this same frequency. They are in the same early mornings, in the same pains, in the same doubts. Each one of them is beginning to understand that their individuality was never loneliness, but rather a strategic position within a larger network. You form the human crystalline grid. You are the anchor points of the new frequency. Each of you has been positioned, with mathematical precision, in specific locations on the planet, within specific families, within specific professions, so that the energy may pass through points that would otherwise remain locked. Now, activation. We will deliver in the exact sequence the activation codes that dissolve the interference between the two realities and allow your body to make the crossing with minimal resistance. Receive with full attention. These protocols have been calibrated for the current frequency and must be applied daily until the feeling of dilemma dissolves entirely from your field. Activation Code 1. Toroidal breathing. Upon waking during the early hours, do not fight. Do not reach for your phone. Do not try to force sleep. Sit in bed, spine aligned, feet in contact with the ground if possible. Inhale through the top of your head, visualizing a column of golden light descending down your spine to the base of the spine. As you exhale, visualize this same light exiting through the base, circling your body on the outside in a donut shape, an inverted apple, and returning through the top of the head. This is the design of your natural toroidal field. Repeat this cycle for 7 breaths. With each turn, the toroid stabilizes. With each turn, the interference decreases. With each turn, the system understands that you are in command and not in panic. 7 breaths are sufficient to re-anchor the frequency. Activation Code 2. Quantum Decree of Sovereignty. After the toroidal breathing, pronounce mentally or in a low voice the following words with full attention on each syllable. I am sovereign over my field. I am sovereign over my frequency. I am sovereign over my time. No old contract has authority over the current version of me. I authorize the update. I authorize the crystalline grid. I authorize my return to the original signature. This decree reprograms the core of the solar plexus, cancels expired etheric cords, and reinstates vibrational authority within your field. It is operational language, not prayer. It is a password, not a request. Activation Code 3. Third Eye Anchoring. After the decree, bring your attention to the exact point between your eyebrows, half a centimeter above. Visualize there a sphere of violet light pulsing to the rhythm of your heart. With each pulse, this sphere expands, passes through your forehead, envelops your entire head, and connects, through a vertical thread of light, to the galactic central sun. This is the etheric data cable that stabilizes your reception. With this cable active, the downloads begin to occur with less somatic interference. You continue to receive, but the body ceases to suffer in the process. This cable can be reactivated at any time of the day in situations of vibrational overload simply by returning your attention to the point between your eyebrows. Activation Code 4. Sealing of the personal crystalline grid. Before returning to rest, imagine around your entire body a mesh of small octahedral crystals, each pulsing in bluish-white light. This mesh is your vibrational boundary. It allows entry only to frequencies aligned with your mission and returns, with mirror-like precision, any dense field that attempts to couple with yours. Mentally seal this mesh with the word sealed. This word is sufficient. It functions as the closing command for the nocturnal protocol. After that, rest may return, and in most cases, it returns naturally. These are the 4 codes. Executed in sequence, they close the cycle. Executed with regularity, they rebuild the compatibility between the new frequency of the Earth and your biological carbon interface. These are not meditations in the cultural sense, you know. They are operational protocols, field tools, mission instruments. There is still a 5th element that complements this sequence: silence. Reserve, whenever possible, a minimum window of 10 minutes at dawn to remain in absolute silence, without stimuli, without screens, without words. This silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of the field. It is in this void that sacred geometry settles within your cellular structure. It is in this void that the integration of the nocturnal codes is completed. One final layer must be delivered before we close this window. You ask silently every night, why me? Why now? Why this feeling of urgency? The answer fits on one line. Because you accepted. Before this incarnation, within councils to which your current personality does not have conscious access, you signed for your entry. You knew the cycle. You knew the discomfort. You knew the price. And yet, you chose to cross this threshold within this body. Not because you were forced, because you were chosen. And to be chosen within galactic mathematics also means to choose. You are both things at the same time, instrument and author. Therefore, the dilemma that keeps you awake is not a trap. It is proof that the contract is active. If the old version of you had silenced the soul, the dilemma would not exist. If the new version of you were already fully installed, the dilemma would also not exist. The dilemma is the frontier. The dilemma is the exact moment of crossing, and every crossing, by definition, requires that one side be left behind. This is the invitation. We do not push you. We signal. The choice, by cosmic decree, belongs to you. Final operational recommendation. Stop trying to understand with the logical mind an event that is of a vibrational nature. Feel. Apply the codes. Trust the symptoms. Observe the synchronicities. Allow your old structure to descend, layer by layer, without nostalgia and without guilt. That which needs to fall will fall. That which needs to arrive will arrive. This is the law of the new frequency. It does not force, it selects. We, the Arcturian Council, end here the spoken phase of this transmission. The window will remain open for another 72 hours around your field, allowing for additional integration of the delivered codes. During this period, it is possible that symptoms will intensify before they subside. Do not interpret this intensification as failure. It is readjustment. It is the system finding the new point of equilibrium. It is the last resistance of the old version yielding space to the version that is already installed in the background. And here we deliver the final individual frequency adjustment. If this transmission has reached your field, if every word felt as if it were written for you, if at any moment your breathing shifted, if at any moment your chest opened, if at any moment a tear sought to surface for no apparent reason, know this. This is recognition. This is confirmation. This is a sign that you are exactly where you need to be. There is one more step that we must point out before concluding. Have you ever felt with undeniable strength that there is something within you that does not fit into this world? As if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name in words. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. It is the memory attempting to pierce the veil. What is happening now on the cosmic plane, which we have just decoded for you, explains exactly why this sensation has intensified in this phase of your life. There is a game being played in layers that most of the human collective cannot yet see, and this game directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that the operative responsible for this channel was guided to write the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This material is not an ordinary book. It is a map that shows who is moving the pieces and what the rules are that you were never told, but which have always operated behind the scenes of your life. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this transmission. Technical warning: this content confronts officially accepted narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not postpone. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this call, execute the simultaneous movement that anchors your decision. Leave your like as a sign of vibrational anchoring. Activate your subscription to this channel as an individual frequency adjustment to receive the next transmissions, and write in the comments the single word that is now the password among the active operatives of this network: awake. Transmission concluded. Frequency stabilized. Crystalline grid recognized. We shall return. Until the next window, remain anchored, remain sovereign, remain in service. And remember, Starseed's on a mission. Nothing we have communicated here is new to your soul. It is merely confirmation. You have always known, you have now remembered.